Bereshit, Genesis, chapter 18. And Yahweh appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes, and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground, and said,
My Adonai, if now I have found favor in your sight, pass not away, I pray you, from your servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on, for therefore are ye come to your servant.
And they said,
So do, as you have said.
And Abraham hasted into the tent unto El-Serah, and said,
Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth.
And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hastened to dress it. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him,
Where is Sarah, your woman?
And he said,
Behold, in the tent.
And he said,
I will certainly return unto you according to the time of life, and lo, Sarah your woman shall have a son.
And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and had ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying,
After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also?
And Yahweh said unto Abraham,
Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child, which am old? Is anything too hard for Yahuwah? At the time appointed, I will return unto you, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son.
Then Sarah denied, saying,
I laughed not.
For she was afraid. And he said,
Nay, but you did laugh.
And the men rose up from thence, and looked toward Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And Yahweh said,
Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, that they shall guard the way of Yahuwah, to do justice and judgment, that Yahuwah may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him.
And Yahweh said,
Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now, and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know.
And the men turned their faces from thence, and went toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before Yahweh. And Abraham drew near and said,
Will you also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Perchance there be 50 righteous within the city. Will you also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from you to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right?
And Yahweh said,
If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes.
And Abraham answered and said,
Behold now, I have taken it upon me to speak unto Adonai, which am but dust and ashes. Perchance there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Will you destroy all the city for lack of 5?
And he said,
If I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it.
And he spoke unto him yet again and said,
Perchance there will be 40 found there.
And he said,
I will not do it for 40's sake.
And he said unto him,
Oh, let not Adonai be angry, and I will speak. Perchance there shall be 30 found there.
And he said,
I will not do it if I find 30 there.
And he said,
Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto Adonai. Perchance there shall be 20 found there.
And he said,
I will not destroy it for 20's sake.
And he said,
Oh, let not Adonai be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Perchance 10 shall be found there.
And he said,
I will not destroy it for 10's sake.
And Yahweh went his way as soon as he had left communing with El Abraham. And Abraham returned unto his place. Bereshit, Genesis chapter 19. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at evening, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said,
Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways.
And they said,
Nay, but we will abide in the street all night.
And he pressed upon them greatly. And they turned in unto him, and entered into the house. And he made them a feast, and did bake matzah, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him,
Where are the men which came into you this night? Bring them out unto us,
that we may know them.
And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said,
I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold now, I have 2 daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
And they said,
Stand back.
And they said again,
This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will need to be a judge. Now we will deal worse with you than with them.
And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand, and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot,
Have you here any besides son-in-law, and your sons, and your daughters, and whatsoever you have in the city, bring them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of Yahuwah, and Yahuwah has sent us to destroy it.
And Lot went out, and spoke unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said,
Up, get you out of this place, for Yahuwah will destroy this city.
But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying,
Arise, take your woman and your 2 daughters which are here, lest you be consumed in the iniquity of the city.
And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his woman, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, Yahweh being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said,
Escape for your life, look not behind you, neither stay in all the circle of the Yarden. Escape to the mountain, lest you be consumed.
And Lot said unto them,
Oh, not so, my Adonai. Behold, now your servant has found grace in your sight, and you have magnified your mercy, which you have showed unto me in saving my life. I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me, and I die. Behold now, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape hither. Is it not a little one? and my soul shall live.
And he said unto him,
See, I have accepted you concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for which you have spoken. Make haste, escape hither, for I cannot do anything till you are come hither.
Therefore, the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar. Then Yahweh rained upon Sodom and upon Amorah brimstone and fire from Yahweh out of the heavens. And he overthrew those cities and all the circle of the Yarden, and all the inhabitants of those cities, and that which grew upon the ground. But his woman looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before Yahweh, and he looked toward Sodom and Amorah, and toward all the land of the circle of the Yarden, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when Elohim destroyed the cities of the circle of the Yarden, that Elohim remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt. And Lot went up out of Zoar, and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger,
Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father.
And they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in, and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger,
Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father.
And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bore a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabim unto this day. And the younger, she also bore a son, and called his name Ben-Ammi. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. Bereshit, Genesis, chapter 20. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the country of the Negev, and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah his woman,
She is my sister.
And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent, and took Sarah. But Elohim came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him,
Behold, you are but a dead man, for the woman which you have taken, for she is a man's woman.
But Abimelech had not come near her. And he said,
Adonai, will you slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, She is my sister? And she, even she herself said, He is my brother? In the integrity of my heart and innocence of my hands have I done this.
And Elohim said unto him in a dream,
Yea, I know that you did this in the integrity of your heart, for I also withheld you from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I you not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his woman, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for you, and you shall live. And if you restore her not, know you that you shall surely die, you and all that are yours.
Therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning, and called all his servants, and told all these things in their ears. And the men were sore afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham, and said unto him,
What have you done unto us, and what have I offended you, that you have brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? You have done deeds unto me that ought not to be done.
And Abimelech said unto Abraham,
What saw you that you have done this thing?
and Abraham said,
Because I thought surely the fear of Elohim is not in this place, and they will slay me for my woman's sake. And yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my woman. And it came to pass, when Elohim caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is your kindness which you shall show unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, He is my brother.
And Abimelech took sheep, and oxen, and men servants, and women servants, and gave them unto Abraham, and restored him Sarah his woman. And Abimelech said,
Behold, my land is before you. Dwell where it pleases you.
and unto Sarah he said,
Behold, I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to you a covering of the eyes, unto all that are with you, and with all other.
Thus she was reproved. So Abraham prayed unto Elohim, and Elohim healed Abimelech, and his woman, and his maidservants, and they bore children. For Yahweh had fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech, because of Sarah, Abraham's woman. Bereshit, Genesis chapter 21. And Yahweh visited Sarah as he had said, and Yahweh did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which Elohim had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bore unto him, Yitzchak. And Abraham circumcised his son Yitzchak, being 8 days old, as Elohim had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old, when his son Yitzchak was born unto him. And Sarah said,
Elohim has made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me.
and she said,
Who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age.
And the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast, the same day that Yitzchak was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Mitzrayim, which she had borne unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham,
Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Yitzhak.
And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And Elohim said unto Abraham,
Let it not be grievous in your sight because of the lad, and because of your bondwoman. In all that Sarah has said unto you, hearken unto her voice. For in Yitzhak shall your seed be called. And also the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is your seed.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread and a bottle of water, and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder, and the child, and sent her away. And she departed, and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs. And she went, and sat her down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shot. For she said,
Let me not see the death of the child.
and she sat over against him, and lifted up her voice, and wept. And Elohim heard the voice of the lad. And the angel of Elohim called unto Hagar out of the heavens, and said unto her,
What ails you, Hagar? Fear not, for Elohim has heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in your hand, for I will make him a great nation.
And Elohim opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went, and filled the bottle with water, and gave the lad drink. And Elohim was with the lad, and he grew, and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a woman out of the land of Mitzrayim. And it came to pass at that time, that Abimelech and Pichol, the chief captain of his host spoke unto El Abraham, saying,
Elohim is with you in all that you do. Now therefore swear unto me here by Elohim that you will not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto you, you shall do unto me, and to the land wherein you have sojourned.
And Abraham said,
I will swear.
And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of a well of water, which Abimelech's servants had violently taken away. And Abimelech said,
I know not who has done these things, neither did you tell me, neither yet heard I of it, but today.
And Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them unto Abimelech, and both of them cut a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech said unto El Abraham,
What mean these 7 ewe lambs which you have set by themselves?
And he said,
For these 7 ewe lambs shall you take off my hand, that they may be a witness unto me that I have dug this well.
Wherefore he called that place Beersheba, because there they swore both of them. Thus they cut a covenant at Beersheba. Then Abimelech rose up, and Pichol, the chief captain of his host, and they returned into the land of the Pelishtim. And Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba, and called thereon the name of Yahweh, El Olam. And Abraham sojourned in the Pelishtim's land many days. Bereshit, Genesis chapter 22. And it came to pass after these things, that Elohim did try Abraham, and said unto him,
Abraham,
and he said,
behold, here I am.
and he said,
Take now your son, your Yachid, Yitzhak, whom you love, and get you into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell you of.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Yitzchak his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up, and went unto the place of which Elohim had told him. Then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men,
Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder, and worship, and come again to you.
And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Yitzchak his son. And he took the fire in his hand, and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Yitzchak spoke unto El Abraham his father, and said,
My father,
and he said,
here am I, my son.
and he said,
Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering?
and Abraham said,
My son, Elohim will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering.
So they went both of them together. And they came to the place which Elohim had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Yitzchak his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of Yahweh called unto him out of the heavens, and said,
Avraham, Avraham.
and he said,
Here am I.
and he said,
Lay not your hand upon the lad, neither do you anything unto him. For now I know that you fear Elohim, seeing you have not withheld your son, your Yachid, from me.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Yahweh Yireh, as it is said to this day, In the mount of Yahweh it shall be seen. And the angel of Yahweh called unto El Abraham out of the heavens the 2nd time, and said,
By myself have I sworn, says Yahuwah, for because you have done this thing, and have not withheld your son, your Yahid, that in blessing I will bless you, and in multiplying I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and your seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in your seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice.
So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying,
Behold, Milcah, she has also borne children unto your brother Nahor, Huz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram, and Kesed, and Hazo, and Pildash, and Yidlaf, and Bethuel.
And Bethuel begat Rivkah. These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother, and his concubine, whose name was Reumah. She bore also Teva, and Gaham, and Tahash, and Ma'akah.